We're sitting here in the Atlanta Voice offices with the talented, the smooth, suave.
Appreciate you. Keep
No,
them
it's,
coming. Keep them coming.
no, it's good to have you here to talk about this project that we've been trying to talk about for some time.
For a while, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. And it's called Legacy.
Legacy, yes, sir.
So give us a gist about the title and the music and where you see this taking you in the next few years. Is this a change of direction for you or what?
Yes. Okay. So first, the name, the title of the record is called Legacy, and Legacy. It being called Legacy was actually inspired after the passing of my mother, Theresa Hightower. Let me give her her name and her due. Um, but I was already recording. Well, some of these records I had already recorded, and were kind of like a continuation of my first record, The New Standard. But I was ready to finish my second record. I had some ideas, and I just wanted to do a new offering. And then in my mom's passing, of course, it shook me up. And then it's like, yo, I have to keep that alive. It's about the legacy. And, I have to keep her legacy alive. And I was like, I should call this record Legacy. So there were two songs that were truly inspired by my mom's passing. One on the album is called "All to the Good" that I wrote, and it's about my mother. That's my song to and for my mother. Um, and then there's a song that is a standard, "Here's to Life," that my mom would perform often. She would close her shows with it, and she made me pay attention to the lyrics more because I was more of a melody person, and so I recorded those songs on the record. But that's how it was Legacy. The rest of the records were records that I had that I wanted to do, and it was what it was. It was love songs and whatnot. So that's the inspiration for it being called Legacy, and what I foresee happening with this. I mean, I pray that her energy, and now my grandmother's energy, because I lost my grandmom in September of this year, will be the wind beneath my wings, the fuel to to me. And I mean, first of all, God first, but I do see it changing things. Um, I mean, we've all been successful. I pray this. I say this all the time. Like, my mom had a lot of success, um, but she wanted to go further. I've had some successes, but I want to go further, and I see this taking me, us, because they are always with me where we've always wanted to be.
Now, when your fans and people hear the CD for the first time,
Mhm.
what do you hope they take away from it? And what kind of emotion you want to invoke, through them?
Um, I used to have a production company called Feel Good Music, and then kind of starting to back up. But I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I want people to feel good. You know, um, whether it's being in love, whether it's just the bop of music. Um, that's what music is supposed to do. I mean, well, it can make it can incite you to anger, it can incite you to sadness, whatever. Um, but I want it to be a true, organic and authentic experience. You know what I mean? The original songs that I've written are from experiences, some old that are now just being realized. Some ways I felt I don't feel anymore, but I wrote them. And they were great records, so I wanted them out. Um, and some of them I feel like today. You know what I mean? But that's what creativity is. I wanted to speak to that place and time, and hopefully it speaks to you. Because when you write something, everybody's at a different phase of their life doing something. So I hope you can connect to it in some kind of way, even if on the most minimal level. If it's just that it sounds good to you. Now, if it really talks to you and does something different, I have a song called Plain Jane that as I've done it live, I've gotten a lot of great response from, and people say they can relate to it. And that song is actually, I wrote that song so many years ago, but I always I said I was going to put it on every project until it got what I know what it deserves,
Mm.
right? So but that song is a song about my life, and not only mine. I was in a group called 4.0, and those my group members definitely. But I know it speaks to so many other people in the arts, and whatever you've done, it doesn't just have to be the arts, because it's a true story of possibly a dream deferred, for the lack of something, a better way to describe it. But having this dream and knowing that you have it, or feeling that you have it, and just not realizing it, coming so close, and not realizing it, and then coming to terms with that, and deciding whether you are going to quit, you're gonna lay down, cry, lick your wounds, or you're gonna get up and keep moving. You know, and a lot of people connect to that record. So I know I've said a lot of words, but whatever the song is, I hope that you can
Hmm.
really connect with it. That's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would love to be a star
Mm.
in the music business.
Yeah,
You know, we got TV shows for competition, etc.
yeah,
But I think a lot of people don't realize until they get into it, the music business can be very cruel.
it'd be very cool.
How have you been able to maintain your sanity being in it as long as you've been in it
I got it, came right to my right. The answer came right away. I'd like to say one. I would like to add something to what you said. It can be cruel, right? It can be, because once you're in it, the industry can absolutely be very cruel. But it can just be like what life is. Sometimes it doesn't matter that you have it. Like, it's you cannot. There's so many talented people, and that some would say are much more talented than others, and you can. And sometimes you just can't explain it. Nobody ever thought I was going to do anything different, from a kid, and so the trajectory of my life, you can't really explain it. I mean, I'd like to say it's not for a lack of talent, you know what I'm saying,
now?
or for a lack of me being disciplined. It just has been what it has. I mean, and I've had success, but you know what I'm saying, being a household name. That's what anybody that wants to do this, that's what you want to do. You want to be a household name. You want to be a millionaire. You want to do different things. So yes, I've had lots of success, and I'm able to do this for a living, which is a success in itself. Do I want more? Yes. So, and I'm getting back to your question. Um, what? How do you keep your sanity in this? Early on, when I was in the group that I was in, my mom was kind of like, not kind of, she was a momager for us. She was a manager and everything, and she would always talk to us. We got a record deal right out of high school. We were working with some of the best people. I mean, from Jammin' Lewis uh, to LA, to Pebbles, to Organized Noise, Outkast, Diddy Mob, like, Lionel Richie. We were hanging out with the likes of what's my man from the Rolling Stones, the short one, the lead singer, Rolling
Jagger.
Stones, Mick Jagger. We kicking it and doing things like that. um, but she would always level set us, and say you're only as big as your last hit, which is the truth, and that you have to do this because you love it. Because in the times where it was famine, I kept doing it because I love it. This is what I want to do. And some people don't understand that. And I understand, and I even understand the people that have said, well, that's cool. I'm gonna make another choice because it's about I gotta get this and I get that. I understand that. There have been times where I've wanted to do other things, I've contemplated doing other things, but this is my heart. And even in growing, uh, you learn how to create other opportunities, because I'm not going to say I don't want to just depend on this, but I want to have multiple streams of income. So I am doing other things, starting other things, but this has always been my heart, and it's my, this is what I do first. So I think, so that long answer, I'm saying,
Mhm.
you have to do this because you love it, and that's it. I mean, it can't be for anything else.
When did you first realize? How old were you when you first realized this is what I want to do?
Very, very early. But I was able to decide that because I came up. my mom did this professionally on a high level, and back in the day, like my mom was on the radio every day. She was all the festivals, all the concerts. I'm watching this. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing her send me on all of my trips. I got everything I needed in school by way of my mom's gift. So I knew that this was a reality where somebody else couldn't imagine that. I've heard, different artists' stories of their parents saying, "Man, you need to go get a real job." I never heard that because this was a real job. You know what I'm saying? So um, and when I realized I had a gift, I mean, I think I used to be singing, and just liking music 6, 7, 8 years old.
And that's is that when you discovered you could sing? Was you're that age? Because we've all. The reason I'm not singing now professionally is because
You realize one day
I
it's not
realize
for
I'm
me.
going to be a writer. I'm
uh,
not going to be thrilling people on the stage, but I'll be writing about people who thrill folks on the stage.
right.
So, was it around that age you realized, okay,
Well, I knew I had something. Because and now you're helping me remember this because I haven't thought of this in a long time. What I would do with songs, I could harmonize very early. So I wouldn't sing the melody. I would always, try to harmonize with the whole melody, which was just a natural gift. I just had it. And then, and of course, that with watching my mom, watching all of my mom's friends, which are some of the greatest people. My mom was opening shows for the likes of the Manhattans and Eddie Kendricks and her friends were mother's finest, and I'm
mm-hmm,
around all of this, just as
right.
a kid soaking this up. So with that, knowing that I had something, not even if I understood totally what it was, and then seeing that being my reality of what I watched, um, eventually I knew that this was what I wanted to do, and I knew I had a gift. But I knew I could harmonize, but I don't know that I knew it was special. I think the first time I did something for real was in middle school. Like, because my first thing, I was playing drums. I was always singing as a kid in the house, but what I was doing out front was playing drums and dancing. So that's where people knew me for first. I could play drums and I could dance. I remember in the eighth grade, I sang for the first time, really kind of like in public, like with my peers. We sang "I Only Think of You." I mean, on two occasions by the Deal. Me and
Mm-hmm,
my good friend Henri Victram, who's an incredible. He has an incredible operatic voice. But when we were in middle school together, we sang that together, and yeah, so that was the first time where it was like I sang, and people. I remember the school being like, "What?" So, and kind of from then I had the bug because I was in the band, and ironically, my band teacher was leaving when I graduated from middle school. He was going to the high school that I ended up going to, and I remember he wanted me to be. He had me in mind for drum major because I could dance and I was good at drums. But that's when I decided to go in the chorus. And I got into the touring program at Northside, North Atlanta, and I kind of jumped ship on them. And then I've been singing ever since. Well, I've been
nice.
singing ever since. And then I had another phase where I was playing after my record deal. I went back to playing, and people forgot I could sing again because I was playing so much. But we can talk about
Mm-hmm.
that later. Thanks.
The old way of getting the music out there in terms of you say getting a record deal, how has it changed from the time you got that first record deal to now, and how you get legacy out there, and how is that